Prince of Peace Entertainment brings to you
The Clean Comedy Show.
Excuse me, my man, did you say a clean comedy show?
I did. Hosted by
Comedian Cool TLC.
starring comedians Just Misty,
D-Hawk,
Martini Harris,
and Mr. Positive, Mark Reedy. Special guest performance by Thessalonians. That's Saturday, March the 16th, 2019.
That's the Providence Church.
24111 Rockwell Drive, Euclid Heights, Ohio, 44117. Tickets are just $25 plus a buffet-style dinner. You can get that at the Providence Church, or you can call 440-494-6242.
Doors open at 6:15.
Dinner will be served at 7 o'clock, and the show will start right after dinner. There will be vendors on location and giveaways.
That's a Clean Comedy Show.
You said that before, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's Saturday, March 16th, 2019. I better call and get my tickets now.
This is the Prince of Peace Entertainment Fundraiser.
Excuse me, can you tell me that number again?
Oh, geez. The number is 440-494-6242. Just pick up the phone. They're waiting right now.
Are we on the air?
You are now tuned into Elevations Radio, your station for uplifting lifestyle, wellness talk, and indie music radio.
Views expressed on shows are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its management, or other advertisers. Use of these shows and all services provided therein are for personal use only. The Elevations Radio Network holds no responsibility for the validity or accuracy of information on these shows.
Hey, fam, welcome to the Let's Be Real with Greg Bam Reeves show here on elevationsradio.com, home of the best indie music you'll find online and some of the hottest talk shows on radio. I am your host, Greg Bam Reeves, and this is Friday Eve, as I like to call Thursday. Yeah. So here it is there. And we got some nice weather in the land today. I hope the weather is nice wherever you are, wherever you may be. It's dry. It's not raining. It's not snowing. It's like, yeah, birds. Yeah. So you can see some dead animals in the road, but that's part of it. That's what happens. But anyway, so this show is brought to you by Cat's Law LLC, located on 675 Northfield Road, Bedford, Ohio, 44146. That phone number is 216-313-0501. Now, they specialize in personal injury, employment, and corporate law. Their services include free consultation and continued correspondence to keep you informed of your status, keep you informed of the status of your case. You can find them on the web at www.catslaw.com. And that's my boy, Sergi Katz, Esquire. Excuse me. Jeez. When you need us most, Cat's Law. I might need them. I'm coming down with something. I had to sue somebody. Got all these people at my job getting sick. I think somebody might have gave me a bug. But anyway, while I'm waiting on Sergi gonna call in with every week he gives us a little information about law, any law questions we got, and I think I got them coming on right now. Sergi, is that you?
Hey, good afternoon, good evening.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm actually have my Bluetooth in the car.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay,
yep.
Perfect.
So I was just talking about you and your law firm, and my question for you.
Thank you.
Right. My question for you this week. So I'm starting a small business. I registered the name of my business, and at the time I registered, I was in a relationship with somebody. I put their name on the business. Now we're no longer together. If I blow up, does that person entitled to any of that money?
So it's a very tricky situation, and I always start off with the disclaimer: in America, you can sue for anything and everything.
Right.
So if you're entitled to something, there's a million and one answers. But to simplify the situation, right? Here's what I would advise people to do: so you don't get into that situation, because opening up a business, you go on the Ohio General Estate website,
Right.
you fill out your business name, make sure that no one's on there, and I assume when you say you put the significant other on the paperwork as a founding member, correct?
Yes.
Okay, but in order to be a fully functional business, you also need to set up an employee identification number, which essentially is called EIN.
Right.
And that essentially is tied to your business, but that only uses your Social Security number. So that Social Security number is only tied to one person.
Okay.
So then the second question becomes, so let's assume for argument's sake that number is only tied to you, right?
Okay.
And the only thing that is in her that she has to show is essentially her name on the secretary website's name, right?
Right.
Is there a partnership agreement between the two of you? Have you guys ever filed taxes before? And did she claim any of the profit? Did she do any work on that? So what I would recommend, so you're not getting into this situation and you're not dealing with it, because I actually have a case like this out of New York right now, where not significant others, but it's any business, right? You could enter into business with somebody, a friend, right? And then you guys decide to go your separate ways.
Right.
Broaden the question is, I would always advise when you're entering a business and you're not by yourself, you have a partner, whether it's a significant other, whether it's your best friend, your worst enemy, whatever. I would hire a competent attorney who can prepare a formal partnership agreement. And that partnership agreement should include what happens when the parties decide to go their separate ways.
Okay.
Because the problem that my clients in New York are having right now is they have a partnership agreement, but it doesn't say what happens when they decide to break up, as you say.
Wow.
So
Okay.
in your situation, right, to answer your question, it depends on 1,000,001 reasons. The short answer to that, she can claim depending if she did any work to it or anything along those lines.
Okay.
But to take it a step further, I would highly advise if you're entering into some type of business relationship and you're not the sole owner, I would definitely get some type of writing, because at the end of the day, if you don't have anything writing, you're going to say, no, I just put her on there to, make her go to bed happy at night, right?
Right.
And she's going to say, no, I did all this work, and it becomes an oral agreement.
Wow. Okay.
And you're saying what you said and what, and she's arguing her point. But if you have it in writing, it's clear as day.
Okay. And Cat's Law does provide those type of services where they write up agreements between partners?
Correct. We do partnership agreements, incorporated articles of incorporation. We do all of that.
Great.
We're your one-stop shop.
There you go. Thank you so much, sir. And I will talk to you next
welcome,
Thursday.
Greg. Have a great rest of the show.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Have a
All
good
right.
one. All right.
That was Sergi Katz of Katz Law LLC. When you need us the most, Katz Law. And so now, I was going to waste a little time and talk about this celebrity crap, but I don't have to, because my guest has arrived all the way from North Carolina. Anybody watching me on Facebook Live, okay, obviously she's not in the studio with me, but I have on the phone, I want to introduce you to Monique Callahan, a.k.a. Prettie Brown. Hi.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. And you?
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Yes.
Relaxing, winding down, ready to talk with you.
There you go. So, Monique, for my audience, she's the author of Dying to Be Thin While Trying to Fit In. As soon as I read that title, I'm like, I got to see what this is about. And I contacted her and asked her to be on my show, and she didn't make me beg. She was okay. So let's talk about, well, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're originally a Clevelander, right?
Yes, I'm born and raised Cleveland, Ohio. Woo woo.
Right.
Moved down to North Carolina 8 years ago. And I've been down here since then and been through quite a few ordeals down here, but I love it.
Right.
It's pretty nice down here. The people are welcoming, and, I enjoy that.
Okay. Now, you are not just an author. You are an entrepreneur, motivational speaker. What all do you do? How many hats do you wear?
I wear plenty of hats. So I am I'm an author, so I sat down and did that after my ordeal. So that's the new hat that I wear. I'm a business owner, so I own a few businesses at that. And then on top of that, I'm also work full time because I talk to you back and forth between then as an allergy technician where I go ahead and I test patients for their allergies and treat them and educate them on them. So I do. I wear many hats. I don't even know how I get any sleep anymore.
Right.
I literally don't know how I get any sleep.
Yeah. So you said you've been in North Carolina for 8 years?
Yes, 8 years.
And how would you compare the two cities?
Okay, so moving from Cleveland, I've been there I was an entrepreneur in Cleveland as well. I kind of like North Carolina more on the spectrum, and not only because it's warmer. That's the benefit, the fact that it's warmer. Mm-hmm. But you also have more people that support you. You have more of a support down in North Carolina versus being in Ohio. You have the support in Ohio, but not as much as you do down here.
Right.
Being in the Bible Belt, people are more open to your situation. They talk to you. They understand your situation, and they want to support you and give you the love that I think you should get no matter what city you're in, no matter what state you're in. So being down here has given me the opportunity to be able to grow into the person that I wanted to grow into when I was living up there.
Right.
But I faced so many obstacles up there that coming down here was a breath of fresh air.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, people can't call in today, but you can leave comments in the section, and I'll read them off. And if you got any questions for, what do I call you, Prettie or Monique? If you got any questions for Prettie,
you can call me Monique. Everybody knows me as Monique up there. Even the people tuning in, they know me as Monique, so right. I'm fine with that.
Okay. So if you got any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll get them to her. So now, let's get to this book, because it was not when I heard your story, it was not what I thought it was going to be. I'm thinking, okay, the title, Dying to Be Thin While Trying to Fit In. I'm thinking about people like starving themselves trying to get thin, or just working out 24/7. What is this book about?
Okay, so as most people know me, I was a heavier child, and I was also a heavier teenager and a heavier adult. I dealt with obesity my entire life. Mm-hmm. I dealt with it due to several reasons, and when you are that way, you don't realize why. And you can't really put a finger on it. All you know is you overeat. Right. And some people actually are obese that don't overeat, but at the end of the day, you have to find out where your triggers are and what's going on with you. And you have to be real with yourself. So in that being said, as I was growing up, I noticed patterns once I got older and was able to pick up on them that were more in line with emotional eating. So I was an emotional eater. Okay. I ate for everything. I ate when I was upset, even when we had birthday parties. We celebrate every holiday with a whole array of food on the table, a big old buffet. Right. So we don't eat to live, we live to eat, as obese people. So everything we do falls on the fact that, I got to celebrate with some food. You go to the movies, they have the concession stand. Yep. People, when you go to the movies, you go to the concession stand, get your popcorn, get your soda, get your box of candy, you go in and watch a movie. So everything you ever do, you associate with food, and it's something that you can't get rid of. It's not like a normal addiction what we would consider a normal addiction, like alcohol or nicotine or, a drug addiction. It's not what we would consider with that, because at the end of the day, those things, when you go to a physician, what do they tell you? They want you to stay away from that and stay away from triggers, which will be the people that you associate with that. But with food, you can't tell somebody, you just can't eat anymore. You can't do that. So it's harder for someone with an obesity problem to actually be able to kick the habit. Right. Okay. Than it is. It's harder for them to do it than it is for someone who has another addiction to do it. And talking about that, you have people come to you all day telling you what you can do and what you can't do and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it all remains. You still have to eat. Right. Yeah. And if we can't teach ourselves mentally how to work out that process, then we can't move any further to work it out through a mental state.
Okay.
And that's what was going on with me. So when I did go in, because I looked into bariatric surgery when I was in Ohio.
Oh, wow.
And when I looked into bariatric surgery, then I went through the whole preliminaries that you had to go through in order to be able to be approved to have the surgery. And then I went in with the doctor for one of my visits, and he sat me down himself, the surgeon, and he said, I want to tell you something. He said, you don't look the size the scale reads, and I actually think you could do this on your own. He said, if I was you, I wouldn't even do the surgery. I wouldn't even go through it. Just go ahead and do it on your own.
Okay.
At that point, I saw a dietitian, and the dietitian started, helping me to pick better choices in foods that I ate and try to change my eating habits into a lifestyle, not a diet.
Right.
When
Yeah.
she did that, I worked through it. And once I worked through it, I lost 100 pounds on my own.
Now, wait a minute.
Without the help of surgery and everything.
Let me stop you for 1 minute. When you say you worked through it, what do you mean? What, you changed your diet? You start working out? What did
you? Yes, I first started with changing what I ate.
Okay.
So she had me make a list of everything that I would go to the grocery store and buy. And then she started swapping out items. So, like, instead of eating ice cream, you get frozen yogurt.
Right.
Instead of eating potato chips, you eat veggie chips. She swapped out. She took the sodas out. She told me don't never drink any type of beverage that has a calorie in it, because that frees up your calories for other things.
Right. Okay.
So she said anything you drink, make sure it's sugar-free, calorie-free. And she had told me to get away from sodas because diet sodas have so much sodium in them that they hold back water.
Yeah, you're definitely
so you hold water weight.
You're definitely a North Carolinian now because we call it pop up here.
Well, I called it pop up there for some years. I came down here and I kept on getting on the hand, so now it's soda. Every time I talk about it. But yeah, she told me that, and after she told me that, it made sense. So I had stopped drinking soda pop. I stopped drinking that. Okay. And when I stopped drinking that and I started doing the calorie-free beverages, I dropped 40 pounds literally in 6 weeks. So it's something to be said, to be able to revamp. But you can't think of this as a diet. For somebody who has to lose over 100 pounds, and you have over 100 pounds to lose, which a lot of us have quite a bit of weight on us that we would want to lose, you have to sit down and plan. And this is not a diet.
Right.
And that's where most people get it confused. Companies out here are making trillions off of what we consider diet.
Yeah.
But a diet is a temporary weight loss, and that's all it is. So if most people, you don't want to lose weight and be thin and pretty and good for the summer and then fat and chubby again for the winter. You don't want to do that. When you lose weight, you do it with the thought of, I'm going to keep this off. I want to look like this forever.
Right.
And the only way you're going to do that is to make a lifestyle change. It can't be a diet. It has to be a lifestyle change.
I got to say, too, I think it's a lot easier. You would think, like, when you make a lifestyle change like this, when it's called a diet, it is easier to go back to your normal eating habits once you've lost a couple pounds. You're like, oh, I'm looking good. Now I can go back to chips and ice cream. You know what I mean? So I agree with you 100% that it's not a diet. It's a lifestyle change.
Well, that's called the reward. So that's the other part that you have to look at, too. So what happens is people will lose 40, 50, 60 pounds. I'm a culprit, and then I'll be like, I'm riding down the street. That Burger King Whopper sound pretty good tonight for dinner. And I lost 50, 60 pounds. I deserve a Whopper. Why not?
Yeah.
So you go and you get that Whopper, and it's so good that 2 days later you think about it again. That Whopper couldn't have put no weight on me. I'm going to go ahead and get it again.
Right.
And so you get another Whopper, and then you keep on with the process.
And you're right back where you started.
Yeah. Yep. Right. And you get on that scale, it reads more. I got 20 pounds that I gained that I got to lose. So that's the mindset that person in that mentality has. And that's the mindset that you got to let go of.
Okay. So now you lost 100 pounds just from changing your eating habits. What led you to the surgery?
Right. Well, what led me to the surgery, I lost 100 pounds, but of course I gained it back like we all do. I'm a yo-yo dieter. And I came here to North Carolina. When I got down here, I had went to the doctor because I started getting things going on with me that I really couldn't explain what was going on. And then I found out I had sciatica, didn't know where that came from. And I had went to the doctor because I started having severe pain on my left side, and that was in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
When I went to the doctor had told me I had a cyst in my spleen that had grew into the size of 3 grapefruits.
Wow.
And impacted my left lung all the way down to my diaphragm. So they decided at that point that they would remove the cyst, that my spleen was not compromised. It was still good. So they would remove the cyst, and they told me that I should not have any additional problems after having that removed, which was fine. I was good with that. He gave me a 3% chance of it ever coming back. And I said, all right, fine, I'm good. We went on ahead. I left after having the surgery. I healed, and then a year later, I started having the same pain.
Wow.
And I'm like, what's going on? I was trying to figure that out, like, why am I having the same pains that I was having the year prior? So I went to my primary care physician, and when I went to him, he set me up for an ultrasound and then wound up sending me back to my surgeon, who then found out that the cyst had reoccurred. Jeez. And there were many physicians in the office when I went in, older physicians, because the cyst that I had was rare to begin with.
Right.
So for it to come engulf my stomach at the same time, it was kind of like mind-boggling to them. They were mind-blown. They were like, you're just a rare case.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened is the cyst came back. It killed off my spleen at that point because it ate up my spleen.
Jeez.
And then it wrapped itself around my stomach. And they told me in order for them to get rid of the cyst, I had to actually have my whole spleen removed, and as well as 50-60% of my stomach. True. Now, at the time, when he told me that, I was like, okay, so I have to go and have all this stuff done and my stomach removed. What are you trying to, is that like, do I need a second opinion? Because at first, that was what first came to my mind. Did I need a second opinion? But he had 3 or 4 other physicians in there who came up with the same theory.
Okay.
Second opinion, you got 2, 3, 4 doctors in there and they all thinking I would really need a second opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I had told him I would move forward with that, but then he brought on to me, he said that, look, today you're 395 pounds. I said,
wait a minute.
And I'm trying to lose
you said,
weight.
Hold on, time out. Did you say 395?
Yeah, 395 pounds.
Whew. And by the way, anybody listening right now that's on Facebook, if you go to the Let's Be Real with Greg Van Reeb show Facebook page, you'll see a video of his miraculous transformation of Prettie Brown, Monique Callahan. I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead with your story. Okay,
so with that being said, at 395 pounds, of course, I'm only 5'4" and 395 pounds at the time.
Ooh, Jesus.
So that's big.
Yeah.
And what happened is once he had told me that, he said that, so what we're going to do is, have you ever thought about having bariatric surgery? And I said, yeah. I explained to him the same thing I just told you guys, that I went through that up in Ohio, and the surgeon had told me that I can do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him the same story, and after telling him that story, he said, well, how long ago was that? And I was bigger then than I was when I was in Ohio. So he was like, so what I would, if I was you, I would go and have surgery. And he said, regardless, we have to remove 60% of your stomach, of course. He said that, so either way,
I'm about to say, isn't that kind of the same thing?
Right. So, well, the sleeve and the gastric bypass are 2 different surgeries. The sleeve, they actually pull out the whole side of your stomach. So when they do the surgery, they pull it all out. Versus the gastric bypass, where they reroute your intestine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that I was looking into when I was in Ohio. The gastric bypass actually had the sleeve surgery down here.
Okay.
So when he had told me to go ahead and move forward with that, because they had to remove 60%, during the sleeve surgery procedure, they removed 85%. So it's only 25% more than they had to remove, regardless whether I signed to have the sleeve surgery or not.
Okay.
So I went ahead, I signed the paperwork, went through all of what I had to go through with that, which wasn't much because I didn't have to do the long wait that everybody else has to do when they initially go in. They put me right through because I had a medical condition. So I went ahead and May the 20th, I had the surgery of 2015.
So
they removed both my spleen.
No, I was about to say, so your decision was more based on trying to stay alive than just cosmetic losing weight.
Exactly. So I had a medical condition that made that necessary to have.
Okay.
So when I went in and now prior to the surgery, of course, you have to lose some weight. So my surgery weight, now the weight at the doctor's office was 395. Once he told me I was 395, I went on my own liquid diet because I thought that I was going to have to go on a liquid diet anyway, and I thought it was going to be quicker than what it was. And when I went to go and see the second surgeon, which is my bariatric surgeon, I was 355 pounds. We already took off just going off of sodas and stuff. So when I went to go see him at 355 pounds, my BMI was 59, which is really high.
Okay.
So after I went to go and see him, I went through the motions with them to get all the paperwork and necessary things done to be able to go and have the surgery. He told me prior to going into surgery, I had to be 320 pounds. So I had to lose another 35 pounds.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I got another question. So altogether, they're making you lose 75 pounds to even have the surgery? I mean, you went from 395 to 355, and he said you got to get down to 320?
320 to be able to do surgery.
Wow. See, I never heard that before.
Crazy because you got to lose, right, you have to lose weight prior to getting surgery to lose weight. So it's kind of crazy when you think about it, like, I have to lose weight to get the surgery to do the same thing. And that's why I tell people it's so misleading.
So after you've lost that weight to get down to surgery size, could you have changed your mind and said, you know what, I'm already losing, I don't need this. I can just keep on going losing. Did you have that option?
Well, the normal person could, but not me.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
because just not to do it because I had the medical condition. So, and most people, when they're in it and they explain it to them, they explain it in a way to coerce them into the surgery anyway. So most people don't think that, I've lost 30, 40 pounds, so now I can go ahead and, all they think is now I can have the surgery.
Right.
That was their goal, to lose that weight to have the surgery. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of weird the way it goes because you don't think to yourself, I've lost 60, 70 pounds, now I'm ready.
Right.
You don't think that. You just think, okay, now I'm where they want me to be. I can actually have the surgery and have this thin body. Because that's all you're picturing at the end of the day. Most people that get to the point where they want to have surgery, they get to that point because they've done everything that they could to possibly lose the weight.
Okay, right.
So now they're looking for this miracle. So it's like, okay, I don't care what the doctor say. I know I'm going through this surgery. I know I'm going to lose weight. Mm-hmm. So at that point, the doctor already got you at that point.
Right.
Weight loss is $1 trillion industry. They know what to say. They know what to do. They know how to get you and they know how to string you. Mm-hmm. So that's the whole ordeal with that. So I went in for my surgery and had both my spleen and my stomach removed on the same day. And then went into recovery. And I stayed in recovery for a month.
So four months? I
tell people, and I was in recovery basically, and I call it recovery. Yeah. Because I never bounced back. That's why I call it recovery. It's really not recovery. It's just that I didn't bounce back.
Okay.
So from May of 2015 all the way through September of 2015, I fought to live.
Right.
For 4 months.
Wow.
And I tell people that the surgery, they don't tell you, a lot of the things that they tell you aren't the important things that you would really need to know. And going into the surgery, they don't tell you that things that happen to me can possibly happen. Because if they told you, you 9 times out of 10 wouldn't have the surgery.
Okay.
And that's what I've told most of my friends who've thought about it. I've turned a lot of people into believers to the point where they don't even want to have the surgery. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to have it because they see what I've went through. I came out of surgery as normal. You have swelling and everything from surgery, so you go through that portion. Okay. I went home. I was okay for a minute. I had a drain hanging out of my stomach because I've had organs removed. You have to continuously remove fluid off your body, and that drain helps you. It's called a J2.
Okay.
So I had to keep on recording the amount of fluid that was coming off of it and everything. And then maybe 2 days before I had to go in for my first appointment with the surgeon after having the surgery and getting the drain tube removed, I started having severe pain on my right side. Now, the drain tube was hanging on my left side, and I'm having pain on my right side. So I couldn't figure out what was going on with that. And then it got to the point where I couldn't even stand up straight. So I crawled into the doctor's office that day. And when I crawled in there, I was in tears. I was like, what is going on? My whole right side is numb and in pain at the same time. It was just something I couldn't even explain.
Right.
And she said, oh, it's nothing. We just have to remove the drain tube. You're fine. You know, and I was like, all right, well,
I'm sorry.
Remove the tube then. I'm crawling in here.
I don't mean to laugh, but you crawl into the doctor's office in pain, and she's just that flippant, like, it ain't no big deal. We just got to remove this drain, huh?
All right. That's exactly, and verbatim, that's exactly how she said it.
Wow.
And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I'm crawling in the office. All your patients crawling here after having surgery.
My goodness.
So that was my first thought. Like, I mean, is this a normal thing? I couldn't understand it. So they took me back there and they removed the drain. When they removed that drain tube, I felt a pop on my right side. Now the drain is coming out of the left. And I told the doctor, I said, hold on. I felt a pop and I don't know what it was. And he said, oh, it's just a tube coming out. And I said, no, this is weird. Like, it's something I can't explain. That's not a drain tube coming out.
Right.
So he was like, no, I'm telling you.
Hold on. I need to stop you for 1 second. It's the halfway point of the show. We're going to take a quick break, and I can't wait to get to the second half where you talk about what this pop was.
Okay.
So we're going to hear one song real quick, and we will be right back to Let's Be Real with Greg Van Reeves show.
I'm Carol Johnson from Burlington, North Carolina, and I listen to Let's Be Real with Greg Van Reeves Thursdays from 6 to 7 p.m. on Elevations Radio.
This is all new to me. It's always been about us ever since I found you. I was you and you was me. We had the kind of love that everyone was proud of. Our support system was so strong, but they didn't know things were missing for so long. I kept the faith. I done cried many tears at night. I wonder why this just can't be life. Then I found the fortitude, can't even lie. I surprised myself, cause I never knew I had this much till I wasn't with him. I didn't think that I could find the substance to be done with it, but I did. Starting over. I'm starting over. I'm starting over. I'm starting over, but I did. Over. But I did. I tried to fit you to me. I tried to rearrange you, but you just wasn't changing what I expected you to be. It's something you ain't made of. I'm tired of trying to save her. I had a vision for so long. It never came. He made provision for me. That's not all it's gonna take. I done cried many tears at night. I wonder why this just can't be life. Then I found the fortitude, can't even lie. I surprised myself, cause I never knew I had this much till I wasn't with him. I didn't think that I could find a substance to be done with it, but I did. Starting over. Didn't think that I could start, but I did.
And we are back to the Let's Be Real with Greg Van Reeves show here on elevationsradio.com with my guest, Monique Callahan, a.k.a. Prettie Brown. And we are talking about weight loss, surgery, depression, all that type of stuff. So finish telling us, okay, you heard this pop. And then what?
Right. So I heard a pop, felt a pop on my right side, and I was telling the doctor the whole appointment, like, document that, like, I don't know what it is. And he was like, you're fine. It's just a drain coming out. I said, all right. So he asked me to stand up straight. I did. And he said, has the pain gone away? It did. So I was like, okay, yeah, well, the pain is gone. So we left, went back home. And over the course of the next few days, everything I ate came back up. I couldn't even drink a sip of water without it coming back up. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why am I vomiting? I was literally vomiting maybe 20 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and I called the surgeon. After I called the surgeon, he said, come back to the hospital. Let's see what's going on. Because you had 2 organs removed, you probably still have a substantial amount of swelling. And we just need to go ahead and see if we can minimize the swelling so that your body can start the process of healing, which was fine. So I went ahead and got admitted back into the hospital a week after my surgery. And once I got admitted back into the hospital, they put me on Decadron, Phenergan. I was on morphine and Dilaudid every 2 hours. And they were coming in and out. They sent a lot of specialists in there. They sent nurses in there. They even had acupuncturists, the lady who got the Reiki treatment. She was coming in. I mean, I had people in and out my room all day.
Right. They're just trying anything.
It was like, right. And it was like unexplainable as to what was going on. So he had told me after that visit, he said that, okay, now we're going to go ahead and let you go home. I was there for 5 days. And they wanted me to constantly start sipping on fluids, sipping on water, sipping on shakes and stuff like that. So I went back home, kept on trying to sip, and it just kept on coming up. Nothing would stay down. Mm-hmm. So I wound up going back to the ER after it got real bad. I was heaving when I got to the ER. And I sat in the emergency room for 8 hours, heaving and vomiting blood. And they finally pulled me back into the room. And when they pulled me into and put me into a room, they had a nurse come in, and I asked her how long they were planning on keeping me, and if they could do anything for me because I couldn't stop vomiting at that point. That's why I was heaving. Mm-hmm. And so she said, well, the doctor put some medication on your order. It says Phenergan. And I said, all right. So I went ahead. They gave me the Phenergan, and it didn't help. I kept on going. And so I asked her if there was something else that they had on there, and she said, well, we can give you Sofran, which is another anti-nausea medication.
Okay.
So they had started switching back and forth. And then I started having, like, a lot of pain that I couldn't explain. And she came in and told me, well, we can't give you pain medication because it's not part of your order. I couldn't lay in the bed because I was in so much pain that I couldn't even lay in the bed. Mm-hmm. So I talked to my family, my mother. I talked to my kids. I talked to my sister that night from what I can remember. And I laid on the floor in the hospital room. And this nurse came in for 12 hours and saw me back and forth on the floor, laying on the floor. And she didn't go check to see if I could get pain medication on the order or anything.
So
I wound up falling asleep.
Just watched you on the floor.
Right. With a bucket next to me. With a basin, I'm sorry. Mm-mm. So the next morning, after her 12-hour shift, a nurse had came in to greet me as a new nurse on the shift, and she knew me from my previous hospital stay. And she said, why are you on the floor? I said, I can't get in the bed. It's just too painful. And she was like, when is the last time you had your Dilaudid or morphine? And I said, well, first of all, I've never had that. Mm-hmm. I said, I got anti-nausea medication all night. And she was like, but it's on your order. So I said that, well, if it's on my order, I never got it. She said, it's been on your order since you got here. And I said, well, the nurse told me that it wasn't a part of my order and she couldn't give it to me.
You know what? I'm going to I'm gonna have to the sponsor of my show. I don't know if you heard him, Sergi Katz, the lawyer. I'm gonna need to contact him about this because you should be able to sue that nurse. I mean, she got you on the floor for hours and holding back medication prescribed to you. That's crazy.
Right. So what happened after that, she got me up, got me in the bed, and I'm telling you, within 1 minute, she was in the room with some Dilaudid. And she put it in my IV, and of course, if anybody knows what Dilaudid is, I'm pretty sure I got some of my friends that are in the medical field listening. That's the strongest pain medication you can get. That can put a horse down.
Mm-hmm.
So once they gave it to me, I was instantly knocked out.
Right.
Instantly. And so they brought the surgeon in later that day, and the director of nursing came in, of course, and apologized profusely about me being on the floor and not getting the pain medication. And this is the offer the hospital gave me. And it's funny, and you don't comment on this. This is the offer the hospital gives me. So being on the floor for 12 hours.
Right.
They said, okay, your kids come up here with you every day? I said, yeah. They said, we'll give them free food coupons.
Are you... Okay, I'm not going to even comment about that. My goodness.
Free food coupons? I'm like, I can't even eat. And you talking about giving my kids a free food coupon? I can't even eat.
That's just downright disrespectful.
No, it wasn't benefiting me, but I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, I spent money on my kids when they came up there to eat, so it was relief in that area. But, just to sit up there and say, I'll just give you free food coupons. I'm like, okay, what about her getting fired? Like, I don't even want to see the lady right now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So, it's a lot, especially when you are in a hospital. In a hospital, you have expectations.
Yeah.
You expect to be taken care of while you're there. Your entire stay, from the beginning to the end, you're supposed to be taken care of. They're not supposed to come in and tell you, oh, no, I almost felt like a drug addict, and that's far from what I am. But I'm just asking for you to alleviate and relieve my pain, not to continue giving me more additional pain on top of what I've already come into the hospital with. That's just crazy. So I saw my...
Oh, no, go ahead.
So I saw my surgeon the next day, and they realized at that point that I couldn't eat anything by mouth because my body, I wasn't tolerating food. And what they decided to do instead of having me continuously try to eat and keep on bringing it back up is they put a PICC line in my arm and put me on TPN, which is total parental nutrition. And what they do with that is they make up a vitamin, it's like a vitamin supplement, almost like a big shake. Okay. And it's in a bag, and it's being fed through your tube into your heart. So the tube that they inserted in my arm went through my vein all the way through to my heart. And they hook you up to a bag of fluid that gives you all the nutrients that you're missing throughout the day. And then you just don't eat by mouth.
Right.
So once they did that and they put me on the TPN, and that's what we call it, they had sent me home, and I had to have nursing care come to my house. And they had to be at my house on a weekly basis, taking my blood levels, making sure that it was working for me, the TPN, and just keeping track of everything that was going on with me.
Right.
So we went from not having all of that to vomiting to now I'm on TPN in order to be able to live.
Wow.
And I'm walking around with a big black bag. I call it my purse. A big black bag on my side with a tube running from my arm into the bag.
Right.
And the bag, it was controlled by a battery-operated device that pumped the fluid through the tube into my body.
So let me ask.
We did that.
Oh, let me ask you this real quick. So, what is your stance on surgery or not having surgery right now? Because see, your situation is unique. A lot of this that you went through was because of something else, not just getting weight loss surgery, but you had spleens removed and organs removed and stuff. So, can you say like that surgery is bad for you because of your experience? Would you not recommend it, or what's your stance on it? No, I do not recommend the surgery for many reasons. Because number one, it's newer here in the United States, and a lot of the doctors over here, they actually practice with other physicians that are from overseas, and they really don't know because they haven't even done it long enough overseas to the point where they can have some
true feedback as to what type of experiences or downfalls or whatever that patients go through with it. So it's almost like you become the test rat or the test dummy.
Yeah, your situation really sounded like you were a test. I mean, you said they brought in acupuncturists and all that type of. I mean, that's wild.
Oh, you just don't know the half. Yeah, it was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my book is based on that, and I mean it goes into a whole lot more detail because that's the beginning.
Right.
Like, just think of all of what I told you right now captured into one summer, and I wasn't literally not finished.
Right. Yeah.
And my kids went through that. I mean, I went through that.
Mm-hmm.
And for many reasons, I feel like they should be able to have someone like me come in and talk to patients prior to that. But again, that wouldn't make any sense, right?
Right.
Because then how would they make money? This is a business. It's not just making you better. It's a business, too. So doctors have to be businessmen as well as a physician.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it was back in the day. You have to see a physician for everything that goes on with your body. You had one physician growing up. Now you have to see many physicians. So it's just an eye-opener. And I tell people, before you do anything as far as altering your body, or if it's something that you can help on your own, like weight loss, try to do it on your own as best as possible and push yourself to it, because I think a lot of us don't push ourselves to do things like we should.
Well,
and I think that...
No, I say a lot of times, it takes like 30 days for your body to get used to anything, whether it's a diet change, a medication, exercise. You're not going to really see or feel the results for at least like 30 days. And, we live in a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like instant society right now, where people expect results like right away, and they give up before the miracle begins. And I tell people that all the time, though. You can't do 2 crunches today and think you're going to have a 6-pack tomorrow. It just doesn't work that way.
No, you cannot. Everybody's looking for instant results, but not really ready to put in the real work to get the results that they really want.
Right. Yeah. So the overall message of your book, you're telling people what?
I'm telling people that surgery is not... I don't agree with it at all. 100%. I'm not for any type of surgery to help with the process of weight loss. No, I'm not an advocate of it, and I wouldn't tell you to do it. What I would tell you to do is to find alternate options that you can do on your own naturally. Again, weight loss is $1 trillion industry, and people are making money off of it based on your weakness. And that's a weakness that we all have, being obese. Nobody wants to be heavy set. Everybody wants that look. They want to be that cover model.
Right.
And in order to do that, you have to be willing to put in that work, because believe me, that cover model that's on that magazine, she putting in that work.
Right.
She's just sitting around enjoying life, drinking pina coladas and eating Twinkies. She's working it out. Believe me,
that's
she got a
right.
personal trainer and everything. So that's what you have to really look at. At the end of the day, you have to say, okay, just the same amount of work that other people are putting in order to reach their goals and look the way that they have to look, you have to do the same thing. And it's not going to happen overnight. You have to really put that time in.
So did you include any recipes of the healthier food choices you've made?
I actually am writing another book, Greg.
There we go.
That book that I wrote is a testimony as to what I went through and what you shouldn't do, as far as that's concerned. But I actually am writing a second book on from that point forth, what I've done, and how I've been able to keep off 225 pounds, because that's how much I've lost. I'm 173 pounds.
Wow.
So I constantly push to people on, I have not stayed 173 pounds because of the surgery now.
Right.
Because surgery in the last 3 years. Yeah. You gain weight back after 3 years, you start pounding that weight on. And some people do it before then. So you have to get your mindset ready to do exactly what I just said those models are doing. You have to keep on putting in that work. I walk 3 miles a day outside of my job.
Right.
I roller skate. I am very active. And you have to continue to be active. And I still watch what I eat, because I'm still a fat girl. Even though I lost weight, my mentality is still that of a fat girl.
$3.95.
I like to sit up and eat Hershey Kisses and stuff.
$3.95 to $173. That is amazing.
Yes.
Now,
exactly. And I mean, it's hard.
Now, have you your kids, have they joined in your lifestyle change as far as their diet, or you just let them still eat what they want to eat?
Well, I don't make them choose because they're kids. And I feel like at the end of the day, that regardless whether I've brought them onto my journey with me. So, of course, when I prepare certain things, I've tried them with certain things. And my kids aren't bad eaters, but they're kids. So they're going to eat candy. They're going to eat junk and do the norm like most kids do. But I do try to incorporate meals with them that would actually be with less calories, but more filling for them. And they'll be able to make better choices as to what they would eat further on in the future.
Okay. So let everybody know where they can get your book.
My book is on Amazon. You can get it on Kindle. You can actually purchase it off of Amazon. Or if you want an author signed copy, I've been going rampant. And it's on my page, too. So many people have been purchasing my book. It is unbelievable. Yeah. And what I do is I take payments through Cash App at $Prettie77. And Prettie is Prettie 77. Or you can also pay me through PayPal, and I can go ahead and send you the book off. I tell people give me a 2-week turnaround because I'm not just signing a book with my name. Right. I'm actually putting messages in every book that I've sent to anybody who has received one for me, which I thank. I've actually put personal messages in there.
That is great. And you will be in the land pretty soon, right?
Yes, I will be.
Bring some books and meet some people personally and sign any books in front of them.
Yes, I can. And take pictures with them and all of the above. I'm up for anything.
There you go. So we're going to look forward to having you here. And now, we talked about the book and your testimony, but you do a lot of other stuff. I know you mentioned a little bit about it early on, but like, what are you working on right now? What's your project right now?
Oh, which one? Because I got a lot of projects. I always have to ask which one. Well, hold on.
No, I mean, whatever you want to share with us today.
So I'm a giver. I'm a giver by all means. I love to give back. That's just for me, and that's even with the book. You know, I like to give anything that I get, any type of knowledge or whatever, I like to give back. Right. So my projects, I have businesses, but they're just that. They're businesses. Right. But I also like to give back in other ways, like, you know, what I've spoken to you about, even on phone conversations. Anything that I could do to help somebody is where I'm at. So when you ask me what projects, I'm always laughing because I always add to my plate. And I have a friend that gets on me constantly about it. Every time he talks to me, he's like, okay, what's the new venture? Right. Because he already know I'm not sitting down. I'm always on the move, and I'm always looking out for the next person. And I feel like we're giving gifts. Yeah. We're giving gifts, many gifts, some of us. And the reason why we're giving those is to be able to reach out and give them back. Yeah. And that's the only way you keep on receiving them. And if you're not willing to give those gifts back, then 9 times out of 10, you're in a slump and you're wondering why your back is up against the wall all the time. It's because you're not giving back the things that are given to you. What you receive, you should always return and give back to someone else.
Now, have you always been this go-getter type, or has this journey made you that type?
I've always been a go-getter. I baked pound cakes, Greg, at 12 years old. So.
Hey, stop.
Yes, I've always been a go-getter. I've always been a worker. I'm a born hustler. My mother has taught me well.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you know, I'm going to need your help on some things.
And I don't mind. I do not mind. I joined this group on Facebook. It's funny you say that. And I posted my before and after picture on that group. And I have gotten well over 1,000 hits behind that. Yeah. Oh, this is amazing. I was at... Right. And then I've had so many people questioning me on it. And I try to be very proactive and answer everybody. And so many people have asked me, what did I do? What can they do? What do I recommend? And it's always easier to talk to somebody who's been where you're at. Yeah. It's always easier to do that because they know what you're going through. They know the struggle, and they can help you get over the hump if need be. And especially if you're going to follow suit and do exactly what they're telling you to do. So it's amazing to see stuff like that. It's amazing to see pictures of me, and because the only way I see my weight loss is if I put the pictures side by side.
Yeah.
Other than that, I still see a fat girl in the mirror, and that's another thing they don't tell you about. But
I had a guest on a couple weeks ago, my little brother Rob Frost, and we used to talk about that all the time. Like, it doesn't matter, how other people view you. When you look in the mirror, you just see that fat kid. People don't really understand. Exactly. I'm like, you've never been there. It's like hard to shake that image. I mean, we're not blind. We can tell that if we've had some weight loss and we're looking better, but still in the back of your mind, you just see that fat kid.
You just don't know. Every time I walk into the department store, and I'm pretty sure other people who've had the surgery can agree with me, I'm always walking to the plus size clothes.
Right.
Every time.
Right.
Now I'm actually in a size 10 and wear a size small medium, and I will go directly into the plus size clothes.
Yeah. That is great. Well, I'm so happy. I'm glad you joined me for one thing. And wait a minute. I got a couple minutes left, and I got to ask you real quick. Because I wasn't going to talk about it, but I have to. It's big news today. Jussie Smollett. What's your feelings on? Do you watch Empire?
Actually, if you want me to be quite honest, I don't watch TV because I don't have time.
I can believe that. I can thoroughly. So good. That means this story means absolutely nothing to you. And,
I heard about this story. I had to research it because one of my patients came to me and asked me about it, and I had to fake it.
Yeah.
Like I knew. And then when he left, I went online to look. I said, let me go online and see what this man talking about while I'm faking like I know what he's talking about, because he would hug me and everything. Like, what's going on? So I read it, so I do know the story.
I only got one quick comment to say about it because I'm tripping that it's like breaking news on CNN. I mean, it's an actor that lied, basically, so far, according to police, because they arrested him, so they had to have some type of evidence that he lied. But the thing is, it's like, I really don't see how it helps him to make more money, because that's what they're saying, the reason why he did it. I don't get that part. If anything, I see him losing money from doing this. But my biggest thing is, I want to know more about this Coast Guard stockpiling all these weapons to kill Democrats. I don't really care that this actor lied about being attacked. I don't. Sorry, y'all. And I'm an Empire fan.
Right.
I like Empire, but that's not. Yeah, it's news because it could have got some people hurt. The two Nigerians he asked to help they did get arrested. But I mean, you put a lot of people in a bad position by your lying. But that's it.
Right.
Let's move on because, like I said, people are out here stockpiling weapons to kill Democrats. And I identify as a Democrat. So I know he ain't talking about me. Right. You're probably talking about politicians, but still. The Coast Guard? The Coast Guard, yeah. So you never know. But that to me, that's more important than an actor lying about getting jumped. So, yeah. That's why I brought it up. It's another distraction tactic. This administration loves to distract from the most important things and get us following dumb stuff. A couple weeks ago, we was worried about Cardi B and Offset while other stuff while the government shut down. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's the only thing I'm going to say about that. I'm going to leave that alone because we didn't waste enough time with that already. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for joining me today. I think the information you put out there was great, important, and a true testimony. And I wish you the best of luck with your book and future books and all of your endeavors. And you got to make sure you stop into the studio when you get here to the land.
I sure will, and thank you guys for having me on. I loved it, and I enjoyed myself.
Thank you so much. And we got to get ready to get out of here. And as I always say, develop your hunger for knowledge and feed it. Pick up a book and read it. Set a goal and see it through. And always, always believe in you. Peace and love, fam.
So 5 5'5", nice brown eyes, she stay fly. Y'all know what I'm saying? She's so bad, I'm trying to make her mine. What I gotta do to let her know I ain't playing? Cause girl, you've been messing with the wrong type of brothers that don't even open doors for you. And I'm the type of man who will treat you like a queen and love you like a man's supposed to. Oh please, give me the opportunity to show you what I mean. I